Get ready to unleash your inner beast as we delve into the untold story of one of Street Fighter's most electrifying warriors. From the depths of the Brazilian rainforest emerges a force of nature, a fighter with a shocking secret that will leave you breathless. Prepare yourselves for a journey into the origins of Blanka. Discover the captivating tale behind his electrifying transformation, his savage combat skills, and the incredible inspiration that brought him to life. Without further ado, let me welcome you to the Street Fighterverse. Blanka's initial ideas were made by Akira Akiman Yasuda, very popular Street Fighter designer, who was involved with the initial character creations in the Street Fighter franchise. The initial concept behind the Green Man resulted from an early design Akiman had. The design was of an African man named Anabebe, who was said to be raised by a lion. Later on, after the release of the final fight, Street Fighter's first cousin had a boss character by the name of Damned, with similar structural designs. Capcom again approached the idea for Blanka's character in the Street Fighter 2. The Capcom team even considered a couple of designs for the Green Man. They even included the idea of a masked wrestler, modeled after Tiger Mask, a Japanese manga series written by Iki Kajiwara and illustrated by Naoki Tsuji. Another interesting design was the idea of a ninja-style warrior. At the stages of development for Street Fighter 2, Capcom changes the design to a large man with thick hair and sideburns, named Hammer Blanka. The Capcom team decided that his feral beast type of appearance was perfect. They felt the game would be dull with only human characters. The most important recognizable physical characteristic is Blanka's unique green color. Initially, Blanka's green appearance was attributed to his consumption of chlorophyll from plants. It also worked as a way to blend in into his jungle environment, a color change that as time progressed became permanent. When Street Fighter II arrived in the United States, Blanka's green coloring was attributed to a lightning strike during an electrical storm, in which Blanka and his plane were impacted by. As of that, having his plane crashed as well. In Japan's version, it states that the plane was brought down by the Shadow Lu with the purpose of killing a minister that was in the same plane as Jimmy. In Street Fighter 2, Blanka's skin is yellowish green, but later versions of the character are bright green. Early Street Fighter 2 artwork of Blanka showed him having a pure green skin, despite the in-game renders showing him with yellowish skin color. Aside from his green skin, Blanka also has vivid orange hair. His appearance in Street Fighter 2 became his nostalgia costume in Street Fighter 5. Despite his strange appearance, however, Blanka is in fact human. Even though Blanka has a mean-looking appearance, he is a docile, passive human being with a heart of gold, fond of his family connections and friendships. Blanka has a great relationship with the children from his village and loves his mother very much. Just don't get on his other side. Blanka, when angered, lets loose of his instincts like a wild animal, attacking his opponents with ferocity and predatory rage. As the series goes on, Blanka, while retaining his usual manner of speech, starts to develop a bit more common sense, which ironically makes him a more cautious-minded foil to the hot-headed Dan Hibiki. Blanka is Dan's best friends besides Sakura. Much of the history of their relationship is mostly unknown, but it is said that Blanka saved Dan at some point before his mutation. Dan always addresses Blanka by his true name, Jimmy. Blanka is also good friends with Sakura. Blanka, Dan, and Sakura had appeared in Street Fighter prologues and endings together. His dislike of masked men, as he believes good people shouldn't hide their faces, is also shown in his rival battle with El Fuerte, and also with his win against Vega. Blanka has a grand arsenal of devastating moves and special abilities. Despite being a charge-based character, Blanka's fighting style is based on speed and unpredictability. His unusual appearance and movement means he can often surprise opponents with the range and sudden ferocity of his attacks, most of which are various versions of his rolling attack. His jump is very fast, allowing him to quickly jump over projectiles and attack opponents before they can recover. In addition, his animal-like characteristics allow him to counter moves in unusual ways. For instance, in the Street Fighter II series, Blanka can avoid a high tiger shot from Sagat by simply walking forward, allowing it to pass over his head. Later games modified the rolling attack so that the weaker versions of the move stopped short, allowing him more tactical capability, as well as introducing other variants of the move to increase the player's options for approaching opponents. The series, as well as later games, grant Blanka moves that allow him to rush backwards and forwards quickly to surprise opponents, and slide moves such as the Amazon River Run that allow him to slip under projectiles and attack an opponent's legs. Blanka fights in a self-taught, animalistic style. However, Capcom's USA division originally depicted it as a capoeira technique. Capoeira is a martial art of Brazilian and African origins that combines elements of dance, acrobatics, and music. It was developed in Brazil, mainly by African descendants, with native Brazilian influences. When Blanka uses his signature attack, Electric Thunder, he crouches and emits an electrical current shocking anyone and anything it touches. Blanka is strong enough to generate 150,000 volts of lightning. In Street Fighter V, Blanka retains all of his moves from the previous games, and his Lightning Cannonball Ultra combo from Street Fighter IV is now his critical art, known as Dynamic Rolling. His first V-trigger is the Jungle Dynamo, where his special attack can roll his opponent directly, and his second V-trigger, Lightning Beast, can roll his opponents in electric fashion in both ground and midair. Blanka's origins are from the jungles of Brazil, the largest country in both South America and Latin America. With a population of over 211 million, Brazil is the world's 5th largest and 6th most populous country. It is the largest country to have Portuguese as an official language, and the only one in the Americas. Brazil's large territory comprises different ecosystems, such as the Amazon rainforest, recognized as having the greatest biological diversity in the world. Other Brazilian Street Fighter characters that are playable are Laura Matsuda and Shan Matsuda. Despite having the appearance of a wild man, Blanka is generally passive and docile, and is fond of family connections and friendships, as well as children. Yet, when angered, Blanka attacks as though he was a wild animal let loose from a cage, ferociously attacking his opponents with predatorial rage. As stated by fandom, in Street Fighter Alpha 3, his game story, just like the in-game stories of the other characters in the series, served as a precursor to the events of Street Fighter 2. The game tells a tale of how Blanka ate a melon on a poacher's truck and unwittingly traveled to civilization for the first time. Blanka eventually faces his old friend Dan Hibiki as one of his mid-bosses. Blanka later faces Zangief as his second mid-boss, and unwittingly helps prevent Zangief from helping to destroy the Shadowloo criminal organization. He then faces Shadowloo member Balrog, before facing M. Bison. After Bison is defeated, Blanka, Dan, and Sakura work together and destroy Bison's Psycho Drive. After destroying the drive, Blanka leaves Sakura and Dan, going on to venture on his own, telling Dan that the next time they meet to have a spar session. It should be noted, however, that since many characters' endings in Alpha 3 each depict a different destruction of the Psycho Drive, Blanka's ending might not be canon. In Street Fighter 2, Blanka has apparently developed a taste for street fighting and competes in the Second World Warrior Tournament. In his ending, he reunites with his mother, who recognizes him on televised broadcast of his matches by the anklets he wears. She addresses him by his birth name, Jimmy, and reveals that she gave him the anklets before she was in a plane crash as a little boy. This crash caused him to grow up in the wild, although he has connections to a local village. Sometime between the events of Street Fighter Alpha 3 and his participation in the Second World Warrior Tournament, Blanka also learned to speak human language, presumably from Dan. In Street Fighter 4, Blanka leaves his mother because people kept staring at him and goes to Hong Kong with Dan. Dan quizzes him on what the Second World Warrior Tournament was like. He, Dan, and Sakura then decide to enter the SIN tournament, each for their own reasons, with Blanka himself wanting to win to earn people's respect. After he loses in the final stages, he is wandering through SIN's headquarters. There he bumps into Dan, only to see flames heading towards them. The flames die before they can reach them. However, as they are extinguished by Sakura's and Ryu's Hadoukens, it is revealed that his mother went looking for him, and they are reunited, with Blanka resolving not to be concerned by the staring faces, since everything will be okay as long as he is with his mama. He goes home, but isn't there long before he finds out that local visitors have arrived to his home to meet him, and that he now has many new friends in town. In Street Fighter V, Blanka was selling dolls known as Blanka-chan in Brazil until he bumped into Laura, who accidentally stepped on one of the dolls. After defeating her, Laura apologizes and calls Sean to help Blanka out. Sean advises him to sell the dolls in Japan. At the Japanese arcade center, where he tries selling the dolls, two schoolgirls notice the dolls inside an arcade machine, causing him to get angry and shake the machine, claiming Blanka-chan to be Cutter and claiming the dolls inside the machine look like rats. But his rage accidentally broke the machine, referring to his crazy actions in Sakura's character story, and regrets it, saying that the machine can't even last a day in the jungle. He tries to flee as soon as Sakura arrives to see what he had done. Sakura immediately recognizes Blanka, and Blanka himself apologizes to her for breaking the machine. Sakura decides to tell the arcade manager about the Blanka-chan dolls to be put inside the machine. With that, his dolls became popular with almost everybody, although Blanka is unaware of this. In Street Fighter VI, Blanka launched an online advertising campaign for his adventure tour travel company, showcasing Blanka-chan as a captivating mascot representing the mysterious and enchanting spirit of the Amazon forest. The campaign garnered tremendous success, though it often elicited laughter from those familiar with Blanka's true identity. During this time, a young girl named Lily became captivated by the charismatic Blanka-chan and earnestly believed in the sprite's existence. Fueled by her unwavering conviction, Lily embarked on a journey to Brazil, hoping to encounter the magical being in person. Amidst his guiding and picture-taking with tourists, Blanka found himself dressed as Blanka-chan in the heart of the Amazon. Unexpectedly, Lily emerged from the foliage, surprising Blanka. In an attempt to maintain the illusion, Blanka, still in his Blanka-chan persona, extended his hand for a handshake, much to Lily's delight. However, she expressed that her spirit companion, Tonyo Ikono, wished to witness more of Blanka's character, leading to Blanka's confusion and an impromptu confrontation. Following their unexpected battle, Blanka removed his costume, revealing his true self to Lily. He earnestly apologized for lying about being a jungle sprite, explaining that he had wanted to safeguard children's dreams by keeping his real identity concealed. In response, Lily questioned the necessity of his apology, asserting that the costume mattered little, since Blanka inherently possessed the spirit of the jungle. She elucidated that she had felt the essence of all the trees and animals within him, identifying it as the true sprite she had sought. As Lily prepared to leave, Blanka remained on the boat, deep in thought. A realization dawned upon him. If the power of the jungle was undeniably real and resonated within him, then Blanka-chan, as a representation of that power, was also real. Embracing this newfound perspective, Blanka wholeheartedly embraced his role as the king of the jungle. So what did you like about Blanka? Let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on new theories and info. Thank you for watching. This has been your Street Fighter host. Welcome to the center stage. Discord server. There you can talk with us, chat about current events going on in Street Fighter, information, theories, and lore. We'll leave the link in the description box below. We want to thank everyone for tuning in and becoming part of this Street Fighter community. We want to thank you for your positive comments towards our channel, because it only habilitates us to grow even more. From the Street Fighterverse crew, we thank you.